going to do some of the problems from the practice, and we'll start off with number 145. Sine squared x cosine squared x, and we're trying to use the power function, the power reducing identity. So we know that sine squared of x is equal to 1 minus cosine of 2x. So this is 1 minus cosine of 2x over 2. And cosine squared is 1 plus cosine 2x over 2. So we just replace each of those with their power reducing identity. And then we're going to multiply the tops and multiply the bottoms. So that would be over 4 and 1 minus cosine 2x times 1 plus cosine 2x. So to make it simpler, I'm going to bring the 1/4 to the front. And then we're going to FOIL, well, I'll rewrite it, 1 minus cosine 2x times 1 plus cosine 2x. So this over 4 is the same as 1/4 times those. And then we're going to FOIL these, so we have 1/4 times 1 minus cosine 2x plus cosine 2x minus cosine squared 2x. Those cancel, so we have 1/4 times 1 minus cosine squared of 2x. So now I have to reduce that. So the next step, we're going to replace this cosine squared 2x with its power reducing. 1/4 times 1 minus cosine squared of something is 1 plus cosine of twice that something. So we put 4x in here over 2. So this becomes that. Well, in order to distribute the 4, I like to make this into a 2 over 2, so I can add this fraction. So we have 2 over 2 here. So we have 1/4 times, now the whole bottom is 2, 2 minus 1 plus cosine 4x. So this 2 now can come out. That's like 1/4 times a half, so we have 1/8 times 2 minus 1 is 1, and then minus a cosine 4x, so we can write it that way, or we can write it 1/8 minus 1/8 cosine 4x. Okay, now the next one, we're going to use that identity. So this, we now have that that's equal to sine squared x times cosine squared x. And we're going to use that in the next two problems. So I'm going to do 147 first. I think it's a little bit shorter, and then we'll come back and do 146. So remember that we know this identity from the step above. So 147 says find sine squared x cosine to the 4th of x. So before I start, I'm going to rewrite that as sine squared x cosine squared x times cosine squared x, because this part here is what I just found. So I can replace this with 1/8 times 1 minus cosine 4x. Okay, I'm going to put it in this way. Instead of 1/8 minus 1/8, I'm going to factor the 1/8 out front. So that's that piece, and then I can do cosine squared x. So we're doing power reducing, so we're going to leave the 1/8 out front. 1 minus cosine 4x, there's no power in there. Now cosine squared x is 1 plus cosine 2x over 2. So again, I'm going to take that, this is the same as 1/8 times 1 minus cosine 4x times 1/2 times 1 plus cosine 4x, 2x. So that 1/2, we can multiply out the front, so we have 1/16 times 1 minus cosine 4x times 1 plus cosine 2x. And now all we have to do is distribute, or FOIL. So we have 1/16 times 1 is 1. 1 times cosine 2x is plus cosine 2x. 1 times negative, or negative cosine 4x times 1 is negative cosine 4x. And then negative cosine 4x times negative cosine 2x is negative cosine 2x cosine 4x. And that's the answer to number 147. Sine squared x cosine to the 4th x would equal that.